Hello book friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today is a super exciting day because we're going to talk about one of my favorite authors' most recent book. The book we're going to talk about today is The Casanova by TL Swan. I have talked about T on my channel a million times. I love her. I love her books. I am a sucker for her brand of love stories, and I was thrilled to be able to jump in and read all about Elliot Miles. So the Casanova is about Elliot Miles, and it's part of the Miles High series that she has. The first book was The Stopover. That's about Jameson Miles and Emily, his love interest. The second book, my favorite, it was about Tristan Miles and Claire. Oh my God, like Tristan left the biggest shoes to fill. He honestly is like the top, tied with Joshua Stanton. And quite frankly, Joshua's my first love of T's. So like I will never replace him, but like Tristan, man, he just gave me all the feels in all the best ways. So I was anxious to read about Elliot, the third brother, and yay, there is a fourth brother, Christopher. One of the great things that I love about T's writing is that she always has characters from previous books in the series show up in later books. So we get to be back with the Miles brothers. We get to hear from Jameson and Emily, and we hear from Tristan and Claire and the boys. It's like checking in on them, and I just love that so much. There were some characters that did pop up from a different series in this book as well, and I love that because of course I've read all of her books, so I want to know where everybody is and how everyone's doing. The book takes place in London. Elliot is the head of Miles Media in London, and he's a bit of a player and has the nickname the Casanova. Right out of the gate, I was like, okay, let's see what he's really like. Kathryn, or Kate, actually works for Miles Media. She works in the IT department. In the beginning, when I started my channel, I didn't talk about tropes so much because tropes are never really important to me. Unless they're like glaring in the face like this book was, I'm not always good at identifying what they are because there could be a couple different tropes in each book, you know what I mean? So this is definitely an enemies to lovers workplace. And because I love the way TL Swan writes, enemies to lovers, I knew was going to be a lot of fun. Kathryn and Elliot don't like each other. Now, obviously, she's in a position of management and she answers to him, but there's just something that grates on each other's nerves about each other. And when books start like that, like to me, that's like a hard trope to write, because I'm thinking to myself, how do you make two people that so obviously dislike each other like each other? And it was interesting to me that it was Elliot that turned his head in that direction first. Kathryn was my girl. Like, I always love T's female characters. I feel like they're my friends. I feel like I connect with them very easily. Everything that Kate had to say about Elliot, you just understood, and I felt like, yep, I would have said the same exact thing. She is strong. She is independent. She has a great job in the company. And she goes toe-to-toe with him. She does not let him push her around. He's very domineering. And she just gives it right back to him. I love that about her. She has a harder exterior, and yet her heart and what we get to know about her and how I really connected with her made me just fall in love with her. I just adored her, and there was so much about her that I just understood deeply. To me, it was interesting because I didn't really know that much about Elliot. We like I said, we met him in the previous books, but we didn't really get to know him that much. And I didn't know, in comparing to his brothers, was he going to be more like Jameson or was he going to be more like Tristan? I was definitely getting vibes which way I thought. And because I am totally and completely, utterly in love with Tristan, I didn't need him to be like Tristan because Tristan isn't a man in a group all on his own. So I was like, okay, well, he's like Jameson, which I really liked Jameson. There's things that I really liked about him, but he didn't capture my heart completely like Tristan did. And just Elliot's kind of gruff manner reminded me a lot of Jameson. And then the more I read, oh my gosh, he was a really nice surprise. Their banter is A++++++. I've talked about ad nauseum that that's my favorite part to her stories. She writes funny moments. She writes tearful moments, tension, chemistry, sexy time. She writes the chase. She writes the romance. She writes the brokenness so freaking well that in reading all the scenes, big or small, in the books that make me fall, make me just immerse myself in the book. This book is over 500 pages and I read it in like 3 sessions. I just can't stop. My body engages, my heart beats, it goes like a movie in my head. It's just my favorite. I just love the way she writes her books. So this was an example of like tension, anger, what we were dealing with between Kate and Elliot. And it's from Elliot's perspective. She smirks. Okay. Is it all you can say today? Okay. She narrows her eyes. Mr. Miles. Elliot, I correct her. Elliot, are you feeling all right? I was until I visited you, I exhale heavily. Now you've completely ruined my day. She smiles as she puts her hand over her chest. There he is. Oh, thank God. I thought I was going to have to call a doctor. I glare at her. Goodbye, Kathryn. She smiles sweetly and waves her fingertips. Goodbye. Have a nice day, my favorite boss ever. Don't patronize me, I snap. She turns back to her computer. Just being a good office host. How am I doing? Failing miserably. I march out of her office and back to the elevator. I push the button with force and clench my jaw as I try to think of a reasonable excuse as to why I came down here. Nope, I've got nothing. The woman's a bona fide bitch. Back and forth, back and forth. It's like a tennis match and it's perfect. And then there's comedic gold lines like Kate says, that white towel is a damn troublemaker because he keeps walking around in a white towel with nothing else on. No kidding. And from Elliot's point of view, I look along the spines of the books. What does she read? Ugh, romance reader. I would have never guessed that one. Be careful, Elliot. And again from him, it's like show and tell, and I'm learning all about her, and surprisingly, not a cauldron in sight. And then from Kate's perspective, his big blue eyes look especially piercing today, or that could just be my incredible rose-colored glasses. Oh, honey, I get it. So soon their antagonistic tension turns to sexual tension. And in my opinion, I didn't feel like the very beginning was sexual tension. I really didn't. I just felt like they were two people that grated on each other's nerves. It doesn't matter that it was a man and a woman. I just felt like they didn't really get along. But then, and Kate is like taken aback. She's like, what the hell is going on here? I loved the tender moments and the vulnerable moments that we get from both of their perspectives separately as they are living their lives. Especially with Kate, there was something that I really connected with about her family. Her parents have passed tragically, and she carries their death with her every day. She has a brother and a sister. She gets along with her brother better than her sister. And I really understood how she talked about grief and how when her and Elliot start to turn towards each other, she kind of forgets about the grief a little bit. She kind of moves into a new place in her life because he's distracting her. He's giving her other feelings. And then on the flip side, Elliot, when he like turned on the charm and was pursuing her, oh, I just loved it. I loved him. He was swoony and I really liked him. She says something about her parents' things and how the house that they grew up in has been cleaned out. She didn't know, and how hard that hits her, and how it just envelops her back in her grief, and she's so sad. And I got that. And she says this, and I had tears in my eyes because I knew exactly what she was talking about. I think of Mom's cross-stitch and crockery, her clothes, and all the things I wanted to pass down to my children one day, and I cry harder. Ugh, I had to do that. My sisters and I had to do that with our mom's stuff, and it just, like, I'm getting filled up now. It's a lot. And if, we've all lost people, and if you're one of those people that has had to, like, clean out your loved one's house and, like, put it on the market and have it sell, and ugh. I loved when they start falling for each other. I'm such a sucker. It's why I love romance novels. And Kate said that she knew he'd be something else. She just didn't realize he'd be everything. And then Elliot says, I smile, lean over, and kiss her softly. Hey. I brush the hair back from her forehead as I stare at her beautiful face. Why am I so kissy? So he can't help. And I did notice in this book that they're kissing all the time. And it's like his personality really showed up in that comment, because he's like, WTF, why am I kissing her all the time? And it was very sweet and endeared me to him a lot. Why am I so kissy? Of course, there's drama, but there were things I didn't see coming. And I love that T can surprise me like that with her writing, because at this point, I feel like I have a pretty good groove with her, and I understand where her characters come from and how they are. But when she throws curveballs at me like this, I'm like, yes, awesome. I hate it because it's drama and it makes me sad. But I also love that her stories take turns that are unexpected and go places I don't see coming. Sometimes they go places I see coming. Elliot and Kate, like, Elliot's a famous person. He's a billionaire of a large media company. Everyone in the world knows who he is, and he's trying to date. All we have to do is turn on the TV and watch Access Hollywood to see how that all turns out. And as a society, we are not nice to celebrities, and we invade their privacy. And that's a whole different ball of wax. Like, don't get me started. And my husband works in the industry, so I get it. Typical drama that you would expect from that kind of billionaire love story. And then a whole couple extra separate things that just had me on the edge of my seat and surprised me and broke my heart. But I loved the way she wove it all together. Yes, I'm gonna throw my freaking Kindle moments, because I always do with T's books, in the very best way. This one hit me like a ton of bricks. So you're going to Paris? Christopher frowns. Just like that? I stay silent, unsure. You're stupid if you F this up with Kate, he snaps. That she likes you is unbelievable. The fact that she loves you is an effing miracle. My eyes right to meet his. You have something special with her. Grab onto it with both hands and don't let go. Agreed, Tristan says. I think you need to go to Paris, Jameson sighs. Ugh, annoyed by that. You need to know once and for all. Are you really going to live your life wondering what if? Is that fair to Kate to start a relationship with this already hanging over your head? My chest tightens as I look at my brothers, and I know there is no right or wrong answer to do this. I'm effed if I do, and effed if I don't. And let me tell you, I was like, oh, here we go. Now I'm pissed. And then Kate. Hello, darkness, my old friend. It's been a while since you graced me with your presence. I can't say that I've missed you. I sit at my desk and stare out the window. It's 3 p.m. and I haven't heard from Elliot. I don't expect to. A million emotions have run through me. Sadness, regret, anger, but mostly disappointment. I can see it so clearly now. He and I had fun, but he was always searching for the dream, the fairy tale ending. And I'm not talented or special, least of all extraordinary. It was never me. And I hate that for a brief moment I forgot that. It hurts. Oh my God, I was in tears. I was in tears. And then because I'm a glutton for punishment, T mentions the song Never Enough by Lauren Allred. So what do? I freaking look that up and I listen to it. And I'm sitting there crying with my phone in my hand on YouTube. Oh my God. But boy, do I eat that shit up, let me tell you. Thankfully, as always with T's books, we do get a happily ever after. Oh, it was hard fought, and I loved every single second of it. And let me tell you, Christopher, very much a surprise. I really liked Christopher. Christopher reminded me a little bit more of Tristan. So I have high hopes for Christopher. Let me know if you have read the Casanova or any of the other Miles High books or any others on T's backlist. I would love to hear your thoughts. While you're here, I would love for you to take a second to consider subscribing to my channel and giving the video a thumbs up. When you do that, it not only helps my channel, but it will help this video get shown to more people here on YouTube. And as I've said before, TL Swan is the whole reason why I started my channel. I needed a place to talk about her books. And thus, my channel was born. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye!